Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are currently watching the door of the House chambers. I think we're waiting on Bowtie Dude to see if he's going to come out or if we have 6 more weeks of not having a speaker. God, I wish that's the way it was. Um, but yeah, so a couple things to catch up on. One, President Former Vice President Joseph Robinette Biden is in Israel. He just gave a speech. It was painful. Not very long ago. And when I tell you it was painful, I don't even know that I want to replay it because it was that painful. Uh, but we probably will, just because. Also, there's been some grumblings that I'm typing. There's been some grumblings that there may be some individuals that are going to cross over and vote for Hakeem Jeffries today. Uh, I just want to be very clear. If that happens, I will remove my party affiliation. I will withdraw from my held office, and the GOP can kiss my ass. I probably should, anyways. It's probably just a reason that I can actually do what I want to do. But, uh, yeah, if we fold and go that way with this, then it's going to be pretty disgusting. Uh, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm gonna keep an eye on. Nope, we have some. Nope, that was just somebody leaving. So let's say hello to everybody and get right into it this morning. So we have the one, the only Bad Daza. How you doing, mate? Alex, what's up, buddy? Brian, me too. Little bit. I was cleaning up the vomit from listening to Biden's speech. Oh, it's your birthday! Happy birthday, bro. Uh, Jason J with super chat. Let's get a no vote today. Yeah, I would love to see nothing come out of this, and we just have a continuation of uh not having a speaker right now. I mean, I'm totally okay with that. Hey, Stingy. No, I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. So I'll bring it up. One, the picture is fantastic. And secondly, I like the song. I'll listen to the whole thing and then we'll play it later. So, yes, I'm level 26 now. Look at that. You got 4 birthday cakes. Happy birthday to Brian.
Be happy.
Yeah, the song, that's what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? Hang on. The comedian? No. I'll play that one. That was kind of funny. Oh, shit. This one.
Y'all gotta forgive me, I'm a little distracted. This is the first show I've ever done with an interpreter. This is fucking cool right now. Well, I'm trying to learn shit. Retard. 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 Democrat. Democrat. This is the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I knew it. Democrat. Democrat. Retard. Retard. Democrat. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. Are you kidding me? I did not set this up, Democrat. Democrat. It's the same thing. I quit. Mommy, good night. I love it.
That's funny. Where the hell is the Biden? Was it really like 30 seconds long? Oh no, here it is. That was just a clip from a different clip. So we'll start with since we're still waiting on. Oh nope, the House is in session now.
The prayer will be offered by Chaplain Kibben.
All right, I'll let this run for a minute.
Would you pray with me? Speak to us, O Lord. Speak to us in words we can hear and understand, for the cacophony of chaos has overwhelmed our ability to receive your guidance and discern your direction. Remind us of your servant Ezra, who, in embarking on a perilous future, petitioned God and then proclaimed a fast, calling the people to humble themselves before you, that you would lead and protect them on the journey. We often call to mind your reluctant servant Esther, but remind us that when she was faced with the annihilation of her people and heard your call for personal sacrifice in the face of political uncertainty, she too urged prayer and fasting, and then placed all her dependence on your provision. And so, O Lord, as we face times such as these, the ongoing war of atrocities in Ukraine, the tinderbox of terror that is Israel and Gaza, the device of unrest in these very chambers, may we in prayer rend our hearts and not our country. May we fast, abstaining from all that detracts us from our reliance on you. Then may we return to you, O Lord, appealing to you for your guidance and protection. For you are gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. Speak the word you would have us hear. In your sovereign name we pray. Amen.
Amen. The chair has examined the journal of the last day's proceedings and announces to the House the approval thereof. Pursuant to Clause 1 of Rule 1, the journal stands approved. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Bost.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Louisiana seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 7 of Rule 20, I move a call of the House.
Under Clause 7B of Rule 20, the chair confers recognition for that purpose. Without objection, a call of the House is ordered. Members will record their presence by electronic device.
See, so this is where the politics gets so frustrating. So they have this 15-minute voting time, and then there'll be another 10-minute grace period, and then half of them won't have voted. And this is just asking if you're here or not. That's it. Are you present? Are you upright and breathing? I know that's a difficult question for some, especially at their advanced age, but think of your job. Would your job even think twice about giving you a half an hour to decide whether or not you were there? it's just so asinine and so inefficient, and they hide behind, oh, it's tradition.
So the process begins when it comes to day 2 of this idea of if a Speaker of the House will be elected in the House of Representatives. The process starting with a call of the House, as it's known. We'll talk about the technicalities with Stephen Newcomb of The Messenger. He serves as their congressional reporter. Mr. Newcomb, thanks for giving us your time.
Let's see what Duke Newcomb thinks of this.
Thanks for having me, Pedro.
So walk us through the beginning process, even the technicalities of a call for the House. Why is it part of the process?
Yeah, I mean, establishing the attendance here is sort of key. I mean, it changes the math depending on how many lawmakers are on the House floor. It could lower or bring higher the threshold that any speaker candidate needs to
You know what
reach,
the hell's going on right
to
now?
become
Show up
speaker.
for
And
work.
if everybody is here today, like we expect
Plain
them
and
to
simple.
be, that threshold is going to be 217 votes for Mr. Jordan to become the next Speaker of the House.
And so we saw when it comes to math, as you brought up, the number 200 when it comes to Mr. Jordan's tally. Where do you think that number is today, or at least what members are telling you?
Happy birthday, Bry.
Yeah, I think Jordan allies are expecting that number
I
to
know.
go down. I mean, they're expecting
Honestly, it
some
should take 3 minutes tops. 2
defections.
minute
I
grace
think
period
that
for
the
boomers. Push the
opposition
button that says,
to
I am
Mr.
here.
Jordan
Yeah.
is quite unified
Yep.
and organized. They are very upset with what they say was the pressure campaign.
Nobody
that,
ever knows where the
Jordan
hell I'm
and his
at.
allies put on particularly moderates to get them to vote for Mr. Jordan, the Ohio Republican.
But a traditional job,
So
you're not
they're
going to,
expecting some defection
you don't
here,
have
and
that
there's
kind of
growing calls to
time
empower
where
Speaker
you
Pro
get to check
Tem
in
Patrick
and
McHenry to be
it's
in that
just, it's
position for an
ignorant.
extended period of time,
Oh, we got to
and
see
giving
who's
him
there.
extended
You knew
powers to
this
be able
vote
to
was
bring up
happening at
resolutions,
11.
pass bills,
If you didn't
and
make
things
it,
of
that's
that
your own
nature.
fault.
So we're expecting to see that 200 to go down when the House votes here, and within the hour.
Can you elaborate on what you were talking about when you talked about the pressure campaign from Mr. Jordan and his associates?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this was the playbook all along from the Jordan team. Is you saw Mr. Scalise, who threw in the towel relatively early, didn't go to a floor vote when it became clear that he wouldn't have the votes. But the Jordan team told me all along that their plan was to put lawmakers on the House floor, make them vote in public. I think that sort of it's a more hard-nosed approach than others would have taken, like Mr. Scalise. And then also, we heard talk of just a lot of people being reached out to, pressured to vote for Mr. Jordan. We heard chatter of threatened primary campaigns, and also
Oh, poor
members' wives
babies.
being contacted as well. So I think that there's just people did not respond well to that pressure campaign, and it pushed some members, particularly moderates, in a direction away from Mr. Jordan and his allies.
Stephen Newcomb, we've heard about this during the course of the last several days, but what's the plan B if it doesn't happen for Mr. Jordan today?
Yeah, well, I guess this isn't plan B, right? This is like plan D, or we're going down the ladder here. I think that again, there's growing support for empowering Mr. McHenry to have extended powers, and that is to pass resolutions, bring bills to the floor. There are people who disagree with that approach, including
Nearly 5 minutes in,
publicly.
and not
Mr.
even
McHenry
half of
has
them
said
have
that
pushed a
he doesn't
button.
think that he has the power to do those types of things in his Speaker Pro Tem capacity. So one hurdle here is going to be convincing Patrick McHenry himself that he's able to do that. Our expectation, I just heard that Mr. Jordan wants a vote on a resolution to empower Mr. McHenry. That could come as soon as today from the House floor after the vote on Jim Jordan.
Okay, I don't want to listen to this asshole anymore. And that was the other thing, is a vote to empower McHenry, the current bow tie guy, to be able to be the pseudo speaker of the House. So yet again, just like our continuing resolutions and all the other bullshit that the Congress does every single day, we can't even do our job enough to elect a Speaker of the House. So to hell with it. We're just going to kick the can down the road and give the power, just vote in powers to the guy that's already here, and forego the process and forego what's constitutionally required. And it's baffling to me how much they cannot even do the simple things. They cannot even elect a leader of the fucking house. How can you be so damn incompetent? And then we'll just vote piecemeal to give this guy the power that we need to give Ukraine their money. So, and that's what this all comes down to. We heard all kinds of it yesterday. That's what this comes down to: is Ukraine needs more money, Israel needs money. So we need to compromise our own self-interest and our own system of government to give somebody else money. I don't know. It's frustrating. So we have 127 Republicans voting, 129. And again, this is electronic means, so it's instantaneous. So these idiots have still not voted yet, or we would see it. So 91 Republicans and 101 Democrats have not checked into work this morning. And we are at the halfway point. It's just a mockery of the system. They don't give a shit. They're just going to keep doing their thing, and they're too important to show up to work on time. So I think if you really, and of course they don't want to, but if you really wanted to make a change in American politics, then show up to work on time. Don't do insane shit like this, where you have 15 minutes to check in for work. Half of you haven't at the halfway point, and probably a quarter of you won't when the time's up, and they'll just extend the time. It'll be 15 minutes. If that's how much you need to get into work, that's fine. Let's agree on that. But at 15 minutes, you're done. Like you don't get to put your name in, or we don't have to call you 7 times individually. Like you're not all sitting in the same room knowing the same thing. So it's just more and more of the same. It's more and more garbage. So bastards.
Are establishing the call of the House right now, and once that's done and they get to the actual process of voting, we will take you back to the House floor. Your calls until then. Angie in New York, thanks for waiting. Republican line, you start us off. Good morning.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Go ahead.
I'm going for Jordan. I want Jordan to be speaker because I want to know where our money is going. All the money that's sent to Ukraine, Iran, everything. I want to know about where all of that is going to. I think that a lot of the non-voters are afraid of Jordan because he's going to investigate and find out a lot of stuff, like who's corrupt, who's not, who's been, like, I guess Don Bacon, there's something that just came out that he's getting money from China. So.
Okay, let's hear from Tanisha in Texas on our others line.
Good morning. So I am calling to kind of point out as an independent that every time the Democrats come to the floor, they might fight behind scenes, but they are in lockstep. They come as a group. And that's pretty impressive. Whereas,
but that's not the way politics are supposed to be. You're supposed to stand up for your individual constituents, not your fucking group and your furtherance of power, you dumb bitch.
That being said, I do support Jordan.
Sorry, I'm salty this morning, so I can't listen to fucking idiots talk about bullshit. So we'll listen to a different fucking idiot talk about bullshit. I'll keep an eye on it in the background, but I can't deal with stupidity today.
And one of the most sophisticated and
so
well-financed and well-supported militaries in the world.
We see the president approaching the microphone. We'll go straight to him now.
I come to Israel with a single message.
You're not alone. You are not alone. As long as the United States stands, and we will stand forever, we'll not let you ever be alone. Most importantly, I know the recent terrorist assault on the people of this nation has left a deep, deep wound. More than 1,300 innocent Israelis killed, including at least 31 American citizens by the terrorist group Hamas. Hundreds of young people at a music festival. The
Maybe
festival was for
Congress
peace.
shouldn't be a
For
job, and
peace.
you should get paid a
Gunned
very
down
small
as
stipend,
they
and
ran
you
for
should
their
do it for love
lives.
of the country, not to enrich
Scores
yourself.
of innocents,
Maybe
from
that's what
infants
we
to
should
elderly
do.
grandparents, Israelis and Americans, taken hostage. Children slaughtered, babies slaughtered, entire families massacred. Rape, beheadings, bodies burned alive.
Damn it, Joe.
Hamas committed atrocities
Can't
that
say that
recall
on
the
my
worst
stream.
ravages of ISIS, unleashing pure, unadulterated evil upon the world. There's no rationalizing it, no excusing it, period. The brutality we saw would have cut deep anywhere in the world, but it cuts deeper here in Israel. October 7th, which was a sacred Jewish holiday, became the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. It has brought to the surface painful memories and scars left by millennia of anti-Semitism and the genocide of the Jewish people. The world watched then, it knew, and the world did nothing. We will not stand by and do nothing again. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. To those who are living in limbo, waiting desperately to learn the fate of a loved one, especially to families of the hostages,
Trust me,
you're
I
not
know.
alone.
I know what I just said.
We're working with partners throughout the region, pursuing every avenue to bring home those who are being held captive by Hamas. I can't speak publicly about all the details, but let me assure you, for me, as the American president, there's no higher priority than the release and safe return of all these hostages. To those who are grieving, a child, a parent, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, I know you feel like there's that black hole in the middle of your chest. You feel like you're being
Here's the
sucked
personal
into it.
story.
The survivor's remorse, the anger, the questions of faith in your soul. Starting at staring at that empty chair, sitting Shiva. The first Sabbath without them. They're the everyday things, the small things that you miss the most. The scent when you open the closet door. The morning coffee we
Really?
shared together. The bend of his smile, the perfect pitch of her laugh. The giggle of your little boy, the baby. For those who have lost loved ones, this is what I know. They'll never be truly gone. There's something that's never fully lost. Your love for them and their love for you. And I promise you, you'll be walking along some days and say, what would she or he want me to do? You smile when you pass a place that reminds you of them. That's when you know. When a smile comes to your lips before a tear to your eye, that's when you know you're going to fully make it. That's what will give you the fortitude to find light in the darkest hours. When terrorists believe they could bring you down, bend your will, break your resolve.
His
But
comms
they
team
never
is so
did,
tone
and they
deaf.
never will.
Like, he just talked about sniffing
Instead,
children
we saw incredible stories of heroism,
and how they smelled.
courage,
Like,
Israelis taking care of one another,
come
neighbors
on, Joe.
forming watch groups to protect their kibbutz, opening their homes to shelter survivors, retired soldiers running into danger once again, civilian medics flying across rescue missions, and off-duty medics at the music festival caring for the wounded before becoming a victim himself. Volunteers retrieving bodies of the dead so families could bury their loved ones in accordance with Jewish tradition. Reservists leaving behind their families, their honeymoons, their studies abroad without hesitation, and so much more. The state of Israel was born to be a safe place for the Jewish people of the world. That's why I was born. I've long said, if Israel didn't exist, we'd have to invent it. While it may not feel that way today, Israel must again be a safe place for the Jewish people. And I promise you, We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that it will be. 75 years ago, just 11 minutes after its founding, President Harry S. Truman and the United States of America became the first nation to recognize Israel. We've stood by your side ever since. We're going to stand by your side now. My administration was in close touch with your leadership from the first moments of this attack. We're going to make sure we have what you need to protect your people, to defend your nation. For decades, we've ensured Israel's qualitative military edge. And later this week, I'm going to ask the United States Congress for an unprecedented support package for Israel's defense. We're going to keep Iron Dome fully supplied so it can continue standing sentinel over Israeli skies, saving Israeli lives. We've moved U.S. military.
Just for the record, the time is up. There are still 50 or so people that have not voted. The time has been up. So we only have 389 present. 44 now are still not voting. So time is up to check into work, and they still haven't.
Assets of the region, including positioning the USS Ford Carrier Strike Group in the Eastern Mediterranean, with the USS Eisenhower on the way to defer further aggression against Israel and to prevent this conflict from
What
spreading.
did he just say?
The world will know that Israel is stronger than ever. My message to any state or any other hostile actor thinking about attacking Israel remains the same as it was a week ago. Don't. Since this terrorist attack took place, we've seen it described as Israel's 9/11. But for a nation the size of Israel, it was like 15
and
9/11s.
They're so tone deaf. They
The
just
scale
make
may
them
be
look
different, but I'm
more
sure
and
those
more
horrors
ridiculous every day.
have tapped into
And
some kind
frankly,
of
he doesn't
primal
need any
feeling
help.
in
He's
Israel,
always
just
been
like
kind
it
of
did and felt in
goofball.
the United States.
It's
Shock, pain, rage,
It's inhumane to put this
all-consuming
man up
rage.
over and over
I
again.
understand, and many Americans
this.
understand.
Legitimately,
You can't
truly
look at what has
inhumane.
happened here to your mothers, your fathers, your grandparents, sons, daughters, children, even babies, and not scream out for justice. Justice must be done.
Yes, now 3 nuclear warships are in.
But I caution this
in the
while you
area.
feel that rage, don't be consumed by it. After 9/11,
With
we were enraged in the
multiple
United
support
States.
vessels.
While we sought justice and got justice, we also made mistakes. I'm the first U.S. president to visit Israel in time of war. I've made wartime decisions. I know the choices are never clear or easy for the leadership.
You
There's
made
always
wartime
cost.
decisions? Who are we at
It
war with,
requires
bro?
being deliberate. It requires asking very hard questions. It requires clarity about the objectives and an honest assessment about whether the path you're on will achieve those objectives. The vast majority of Palestinians are not Hamas. Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. Hamas uses innocent families in Gaza as human shields, putting their command centers, their weapons, their communications tunnels in residential areas. Palestinian people are suffering greatly as well. We mourn the loss of innocent Palestinian lives like the entire world. I was outraged and saddened by the enormous loss of life yesterday in the hospital in Gaza. Based on the information we have seen to date, it appears the result of an errant rocket fired by a terrorist group in Gaza. The United States unequivocally stands for the protection of civilian life during conflict, and I truly grieve for the families who were killed or wounded by this tragedy. The people of Gaza need food, water, medicine, shelter. Today, I asked the Israeli cabinet, who I've met with for some time this morning, to agree to the delivery of life-saving humanitarian assistance to civilians in Gaza, based on the understanding that there will be inspections and that the aid should go to civilians, not to Hamas. Israel agreed the humanitarian assistance can begin to move from Egypt to Gaza. Let me
We're
be
gonna
clear,
continue fighting
if
both
Hamas
sides of the war.
diverts or steals the assistance, they will have demonstrated once again that they have no concern for the welfare of the Palestinian people. And it will end. As a practical matter, It will stop the international community from being able to provide this aid. We're working in close cooperation with the government of Egypt, the United Nations, and its agencies like the World Food Program and other partners in the region to get trucks moving across the border as soon as possible. Separately, I ask Israel that the global community demand that the International Red Cross be able to visit hostages. I just demanded that the United States fully supports. Today, I'm also announcing $100 million in new U.S. funding for humanitarian assistance in both Gaza and the West Bank. This money will support more than 1 million displaced and conflict-affected Palestinians, including emergency needs in Gaza. You are a Jewish state. You are a Jewish state, but you're also a democracy. Like the United States, you don't live by the rules.
Well, exactly. No, I mean, nobody's looking out for Joe, and this is just, we can make fun of him, we can talk shit, but this is embarrassing beyond belief at this point. This is disgusting to sit here and watch this man. I mean, I know we call him Potato Joe and blah blah blah, so on and so forth, but at some point, somebody's got to stand up and say, enough is enough of this, for real. Like, this is truly inhumane to have him standing up there, and you know what? It's somebody who does a lot of speaking to a lot of people and stuff like that. You're not going to be perfect on every single word, but there's a flow and a coherency to speaking, and I fuck up all the time. I'm not perfect, but there's a flow to speaking, and he just doesn't have it anymore. It's just not there, and he can, I mean, you hear him repeating lines, he's going back over and over things. There's no real progression or chain of thought. Like, it is time that Joe Biden steps down. I know he never will, because long live King Biden, but God help us if we treat people like this.
Of terrorists.
Jim Crow Joe.
You live
I like
by the
that one.
rule of law. When conflicts flare, you live by the law of wars.
Oh,
Which
and to
sets
the
us
United
apart
States.
from the terrorists.
Don't worry, they'll come here.
Because we believe in the fundamental dignity of every human life. Israeli, Palestinian, Arab, Jew, Muslim, Christian, everyone. You can't give up what makes you who you are. If you give that up, then the terrorists win. And we can never let them win. You know, Israel's a miracle. A triumph of faith and resolve and resilience over impossible pain and loss. Think about October 7th, the Jewish holiday, where you read
We're
about the
quite a way
death of
past. We
Moses.
still have several people
A
not
tragic
voting
story of a
in the
profound
House,
loss to an
so
entire nation.
not to include the two
A
that
death that could have left
the two vacant seats.
hopelessness
So
in the hearts of the entire nation.
looks like we still have
But though
4
Moses died,
outside
his
of
memory, his message, his
outside of those
lessons
2 vacancies.
have lived
3
on for
now.
generations of the Jewish people as
So
well
have
as many
3 now.
others.
2 Democrats, 1
Just as the memory of your loved ones
Republican.
will live on as well. After reading the story of Moses' death,
Exactly.
those who observed the
Exactly.
holiday began reading the Torah from the very beginning. The story of creation reminds us of 2 things. First, that when we get knocked down, we get back up again and we begin anew. And second, when we're faced with tragedy and loss, we must go back to the beginning and remember who we are. We are all human beings, created in the image of God with dignity, humanity, and purpose.
You don't have
In the
dignity
darkness,
anymore, Joe.
to
The
be the
people
light
around you are
unto the
taking that
world
from
is
you.
what we're about. You inspire hope and light for so many around the world. That's what the terrorists seek to destroy. That's what they seek to destroy. Because they live in darkness. But not you, not Israel. Nations of conscience like the United States and Israel are not measured solely by the example or power. We're measured by the power of our example. That's why, as hard as it is, we must keep pursuing peace. We must keep pursuing a path so that Israel and the Palestinian people can both live safely, in security, in dignity, and in peace. For me, that means a 2-state solution. must keep working for Israel's greater integration with its
Yeah, that's
neighbors.
worked so many times before.
These attacks have only strengthened my commitment and determination and my will to get that done. I'm here to tell you the terrorists will not win. Freedom will win. So let me end where I began. Israel, you're not alone. The United States stands with you. I told the story before, and I'll tell it again, of my first meeting with an Israeli prime minister 50 years ago as a young senator. I was sitting across from Golda Meir at her desk in her office. And she had a guy who later became prime minister, sitting next to me, just before the 1973 Yom Kippur War. And she flipped the maps up and down, telling me how bad things were and how terrible they were. All of a sudden, she looked at me. She said, "Would you like a photograph?" I looked at her. She got up from her desk and walked out into that hallway. I think it's marble flooring. Walked out in the hallway. We walked out, and there were a bunch of photographers standing in front of us. We were standing shoulder to shoulder. Without her looking at me, she said to me, knowing I'd hear her, "Why do you look so worried, Senator Biden?" And I said, "Worried? Like, of course I'm worried." And she looked at me and she didn't look. She said, "We don't worry, Senator. We Israelis have a secret weapon. We have nowhere else to go." Well, today I say to all of Israel, the United States isn't going anywhere either. We're going to stand with you. We'll walk beside you in those dark days. We'll walk beside you in the good days to come. And they will come. As you say in Hebrew, which I'm not going to attempt to do because I'm such a terrible linguist, I'll say it in English. The people of Israel live. The people of Israel live. Israel will be safe, secure, Jewish, and democratic state today, tomorrow, and forever. And God protect all those who work for peace. God save those who are still in harm's way. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, what is your red line that would prompt U.S. military involvement in this war?
And in true
You
Joe
have been
fashion,
listening to
no
President Joe
questions
Biden deliver remarks.
whatsoever. He literally was having issues speaking at the end of that speech. That's how far that man's fallen. He was literally unable to finish the speech because his speaking is so poor. Finish the speech effectively. You heard the choking up and the blah blah blah. So, yeah, there's some degree of sensitivity that you want to have with obviously the war and there's a respect that you want to have for a U.S. president because I served and I mean I think it's really important to continue on believing in whoever that commander-in-chief is because that's not our duty. Our duty's separate and above. It's to, protect the homeland or our interest or blah, blah, blah. So, but at some point when you continuously put something like that out, what else are you supposed to think? The only option at that point is this is gone way off the rails. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about this country. They just care about keeping and maintaining power. And I think that, like I've said many times, I think we're in a bad spot. And it's going to continue to get worse until we collectively decide to make a change. I don't know what that change is, but we have to kind of get to a point where enough's enough. Because that's just embarrassing on every single front, on every level. That never should have happened today or any other day. It was not a speech. That was a call for help. That was his life alert button. So I don't know. He's a terrible speaker. And he didn't used to be as poor of a speaker. I mean, he was never a great speaker, but he didn't used to be as poor of a speaker, so there's definitely some kind of decline going on, but we all knew that already. Um, so yeah, the rest of the country is just waiting on 2 people to show up for work. As soon as they decide to show up, we'll get it going with this. I intentionally left it muted because I really don't want to listen to people like Tina from yesterday talk about the meth player prices in Florida, or that lady today. But I'll turn it up here in just a second. We'll listen to whatever someone has to say on this topic. We're still literally just waiting for people to come to work. And keep this in mind when they start spewing the rhetoric, when they start getting up and doing nomination speeches and start with the rhetoric that, oh, this is the most important, and no, we have to do this and we have to do that. Really? Because you didn't even give a shit to show up to work on time. If it was that concerning and that worrying, isn't the first thing you did, wouldn't it be show up or stay there after hours, or like if something was pressing to me where I was going to get up to a podium and talk about to normal people how bad it is, I would be busting my ass to try and get it done. I wouldn't be sitting there, we'll figure it out at some point. Like, I don't know. So just another more proof that it's faux rhetoric. They don't really give a shit about us. So so
There'll be enough votes for him to become the next Speaker of the House. Devin in Colorado.
now we have
independent line.
one Democrat.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hi, you're on. Go ahead.
Jim Jordan. Thank you. Jim Jordan and the Ohio State abuse scandal. Richard Strauss. I don't know why he's not getting pressed on this
Mildly.
more. He has no values. That in and of itself disqualifies him from this job. I know people in his own district do not like him. So thank you for your time.
Some of the reporting there, Jake Sherman from Punchbowl News saying that it was Representative Jordan talking to Republican leadership, floor staff during this process. As you watch play out, he's went up to the speaker's chair, talked to the Speaker Pro Tem, Patrick McHenry. And so what that means, who knows?
But
it's part of what you will see play out today. Zachary in New Mexico, Democrats line. Hi.
Hey, good morning,
I'm sure his
sir.
kids want him hanging
good morning, America. Thanks for hearing my voice. I'm a recovering Republican service member, and I just wanted to share an insight. These folks are asking for someone to, that in 16 years, I know it's been pointed out, has never covered a bill. And they say things like they want to know where the money's going. Those two things don't.
Okay, I know everybody's incredibly shocked by this, but fact check. Biden tells inaccurate story about his 1973 meeting with Israeli Prime Minister. President Joe Biden has a favorite story with his long relationship with Israel. For decades, he's been publicly recounting his 1973 meeting with then Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir, in which he described described 2015 as one of the most consequential meetings I've ever had in my life, but parts of the version of the story told on Wednesday at the White House menorah lighting for the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah were not accurate. Biden misspoke about when his meeting with Meir occurred. The meeting took place about 5 weeks before the Yom Kippur War in 1973, not during the Six-Day War in 1967. More significantly, Biden inflated his importance to Israel at the time. There's no evidence that Meir had any intention of using him as any sort of liaison between Israel and Egypt. It doesn't. Oh, these are all supposedly facts. Okay. At the time of the Six-Day War in 1967, Biden was still a law student, and Mir was not yet prime minister. Biden's liaison claim is vague, but experts on the Yom Kippur War say it also clearly inaccurate. While Biden did visit Egypt in 1973, just before he visited Israel, and told Mir that Egyptian officials told him, or what Egyptian officials told him, sorry, there was zero indication that Mir wanted to use a 30-year-old American who had never previously been to Israel and who had been a senator for only 9 months as an intermediary in a complicated and critical conflict. In fact, an Israeli government official's written summary of the meeting said Biden had seemed inexperienced and that Mir had vehemently rejected his proposal for Israel to unilaterally withdraw from certain territory as a step towards peace. A White House official suggested to CNN on Thursday that Biden's assertion that she invited me to come over because I was going to be the liaison between she and the Egyptians about the Suez was simply a reference to the fact that he had met with both Egyptian and Israeli officials on the 1973 trip to discuss relations between their countries. So he's a liar once again. Fake news, fake story. And another part of the Israeli account of the meeting differs from an account Biden offered in 2015. In a speech marking Israeli Independence Day, Biden, then vice president, said he had told Mir and Rabin during the meeting that I thought they, quote, Egypt, were getting ready to attack again. He added, and everyone, including my military and Israeli military, thought I was crazy. Well, they were right on that one, Joe. The Israeli summary does not note any such comment from Biden. Rather, the summary reported that Biden had conveyed that all of the officials he had met in Egypt, none of them denied Israel's absolute military superiority, and that the officials had argued it would be impossible for Egypt to go to war now against Israel. In reality, Egypt and Syria ended up attacking Israel in October 1973. The attack also caught Israel by surprise. So he's told that story before in different ways, and only the way Joe Biden could tell it.
Would definitely be hawking
And
Jeffries,
it
but
was
I'd say if
lies again. So that is a live fact check from the Communist News Network. I mean, CNN. Thank you for that, Sarah. Much appreciated. I appreciate it, Stinch. No consequences exist for not showing up to work. They simply don't show up. No consequences whatsoever. None. If you're late to work, you get fired. If you're late to the House floor, a vote should be held to eject the person with a plus 50 for removal. I like that. I mean, we're coming up on nearly a half an hour of voting whether or not they're there. Huh. He didn't diddle. The doctor did if they don't say anything. How is he supposed to know it? And it was 20-year-old kids who wrestled in college that didn't. Oh, you're talking about the Jordan thing. Yeah, I think if there was any validity to that statement, they would have burned him to the ground for it. Just personally. So he just told another about someone who got lost walking around the desert, fairy tales left and right. No shit. Do you have a clip of it, Desert? Probably like his Sabbath class and one of Churchill's speeches. Yep. Good. That helps. That helps if we don't have anybody show up ever.
Clerk will report. On this roll call, 432 members have recorded their presence.
All those things are true, Late Rain. What's up, buddy?
The question now recurs on the election of a speaker. The tellers will please come forward to take their seats.
No, they voted for 45 minutes whether or not they were there. That's as far as we got so far. I mean, I would. Nah, fuck Hakeem Jeffries. Vote me for speaker. See, I'd let you be late twice, and then if you show up late the third time, fuck it, you're out. Don't even show up, because you don't have a job as a congressman anymore.
If the tellers will please come forward and take their seats. Tellers. The gentleman, Mr. Stile. The gentleman, Mr. Loudermilk. The gentlelady from Alabama. Ms. Sewell, prompt. Thanks. All right. The nominations are now in order. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for the purpose of placing in nomination the name of the Honorable Jim Jordan for the position of Speaker of the House at the direction of the Republican Congress.
Yay, clap, COs, clap.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks and 1 day ago, I was on this House floor and in this chamber defending my very good friend and our former Speaker, Mr. McCarthy, from an effort to vacate the chair. And in the course of that speech, I made the remark that those who did this, whether intentionally or unintentionally, were going to put the Congress in a state of chaos,
right where we need to be,
and the country into a state of uncertainty. I think the last 2 weeks have vindicated that observation.
Yes.
But we have a chance today to end that chaos and to end that uncertainty. Now, when these races happen, there's always a lot of hard things said on both sides of the aisle. There's a lot of finger pointing that goes on. I don't intend to be involved in any of that today. I think the decision in front of us is far, far too
Seeds to roast
for that.
Jeffries.
But I am very proud to place in nomination the name of our good friend, my good friend, our Republican candidate for Speaker, the Honorable Jim Jordan of Ohio. I've had the privilege of knowing Jim Jordan for a long time. I've been in Congress for a long time. So for his entire period in the House, I've had the honor of serving with my friend. Now, my friend is not exactly a shrinking violet. You don't win national championships in college. You don't come to this floor with a sincere set of beliefs and a desire to make a change and be shy about it. And my friend is not a shy person. But I've learned some things about him over the years. He is a person of absolute personal integrity. I've never once had to question something that he told me. He's an honorable man. Also, I think we all know he's a pretty direct man, too. I don't think anybody in here on any issue of any substance would have to guess where Jim Jordan is going to stand. He doesn't deceive. He doesn't dissemble. He simply tells you straight up, this is what I believe. This is why I think it's the right thing to do for the country. And that's what I'm going to try and accomplish. And I'm going to work with you any way that I can to do it. Now, the other thing I think we've found in the last couple of weeks is what it takes to be a speaker. And the one thing I know, never having been one and never having aspired to be one, that it takes a spine of steel to do this job. My friend has that kind of determination, has that kind of character, has that kind of spine. And I think the next speaker is going to need that quality. And I know my friend has it in great abundance. Now, if you're a Republican, it ought to be a pretty easy decision, my friends.
Thank you, Bobby.
This is somebody who believes what we believe and has fought for and shown that over and over again. You know, when I first got to know him, a lot of his focus was on spending. That's exactly where the focus of this House ought to be. Now, he's laid out a plan, not just a short-term plan, as to how we deal with the appropriations process. I'm an appropriator. I think I know that that's not the root of the problem. But unlike any other speaker we've had, he's had the courage to talk about a long-term plan and to get at the real drivers of debt. And we all know what they are. We all know it's Social Security. We all know it's Medicare. We all know it's Medicaid. No president of either side has been willing to deal with this. No speaker of either side has been willing to deal with this. My friend, our former colleague, John Delaney, and I offered a plan. I still file it every year. John's not here anymore. To go back and do in 1983 what we did then and address Social Security. We never can get any help. This is a guy that wants to create a debt commission, a bipartisan debt commission, and get at the roots of our spending problem. That takes courage. And Republicans ought to support somebody with that kind of courage. Now, he's not only focused on one thing. I don't know anybody that's done more to highlight and talk about the border disaster that is underway right now as we speak. You know, I had the privilege of serving here when Jay Johnson was Secretary of Homeland Security. I have a very high opinion of Jay Johnson. I think he's one of the finest public servants I ever met. And he was asked on one occasion to define what was a crisis on the southern border. And he said, anytime you have more than 1,000 illegal entries a day, you have a crisis. We have 10 or 11 times that every single day. And in that tide of humanity that's coming across, there is a boatload of fentanyl coming to kill tens of thousands of all of our constituents. There are human traffickers who are taking advantage of young men and young women and frankly predators in our own country, and they're bringing them across, not by the tens or the 20s or the dozens, but by the hundreds and the thousands. You know, there are amongst that flow of people that wish us ill, people who are not fleeing from oppression, people who are terrorists or criminals that are coming into our country for no good reason. Now, that is not an immigration problem. That's a border security problem. They are not the same thing. We can debate immigration. That's a worthy debate. We should never have to debate border security. Nobody's highlighted that issue like my friend, Jim Jordan. Nobody's done more as a committee chairman to move legislation that would meaningfully deal with this problem. And this, my friends, on both sides of the aisle, but with all due respect, particularly this administration and my friends on the other side, need to look at this. You need to look at this seriously. Don't confuse it with immigration. You ain't going to have immigration reform until we have border security. Cannot be done. This has been the #1 champion of that. It's one of the #1 issues that we have. Finally, I want to talk about something that can bring us together. There are a lot of things we disagree on, legitimately so. Most of us do not disagree about the security of the state of Israel. All of us. all of us on both sides of the aisle reacted with horror and with deep sympathy and with legitimate outrage at the crime that was perpetrated against the people of Israel in the last week. All of us, and all of us know that they are within their rights to respond forcefully and swiftly to defend their people and punish those who brought that upon them. So at a moment of crisis, and we are in a moment of crisis, we should come together and act. And we know we can't do that without a Speaker of the House. Now, it's a narrow majority, but my friends and I are in the majority. And we need to produce a Speaker. We have a candidate who we know where he will stand on issues that are important. We know where he's going to stand on spending because it's where he's always stood. Not like he's changed over the course of his career. I know what he's going to do on the border. I've read HR 2. I've seen what his committee produced. And it's not just money, it's policy and change that will provide security for the American people. And finally, and I say this on a bipartisan basis, I know he will stand up for Israel, and I know in that area we can come together. That crisis is on us now. We may get a request almost any time to act. We need to be able to act. My friend will act on that crisis. He's shown it his whole career. So it's with a great deal of pride that I have the privilege of nominating my friend, our chairman of the Judiciary Committee, but a person whose principles you know, whose actions you can trust, and who in a time of crisis will respond with the leadership we need. Jim Jordan.
Okay, didn't want to interrupt during his actual speech, but yeah, I mean, it's
chair
just
now
rhetoric. It's
recognizes
just
the
more
gentleman from California,
words.
Mr. Aguilar.
I'm so sick of words. Do
Mr.
something.
Speaker Pro Tem, I rise today at the direction of the House Democratic Caucus to place into nomination for the position of Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of New York.
Are
Here
you
we
jerking
are
off
again,
to
Mr.
Nancy
Speaker.
Pelosi again? We talked about
And I
that.
promise to make these speeches shorter if we get closer to a compromise, but I'm not certain that that's going to happen at this moment. While the Republican candidate for Speaker is making late-night backroom deals to secure the gavel, Leader Jeffries has once again extended the hand of bipartisanship for a path forward. One thing was very clear yesterday: the vote total, 220, 212 to 200. The People's House has spoken, and Leader Jeffries has the support to be Speaker that this country needs. Mr. Speaker, (212 to 200). No amount of election denying is going to take away from those vote totals. We shouldn't, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, we shouldn't be surprised at the vote count. I noted yesterday the legislative acumen of the gentleman from Ohio. Would it surprise anyone that in addition to not passing a single piece of legislation, he's never put a piece of legislation that has made it to a committee? The Speaker of the House must be a legislator, and the gentleman from Ohio falls short in that regard. He supports an extreme agenda and is hell-bent on banning abortion nationwide, gutting Medicare, gutting Social Security, and giving cover to January 6th attackers. Those aren't the values that we share. If we don't see a speaker elected in this round, there's going to be another candidate and another internal Republican conference vote and a secret ballot, and the country can't afford more delays and more chaos. 15 days should be enough. House Democrats are united on this path forward. We're united behind Hakeem Jeffries, united to put people over politics, and united to lower costs, create better paying jobs, build safer communities, and defend democracy. And once again, we're coming together to achieve this common goal, and that is to make Hakeem Jeffries Speaker of the House of Representatives. Almost, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Hakeem Jeffries has done what we haven't seen from the other side of the aisle, and that is to keep a caucus united. When extreme MAGA Republicans vowed to send our country into a devastating default, it was Leader Jeffries who led House Democrats to reject the extremism and keep the government open. Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, we have the vote totals to back that up. It has been Leader Jeffries and House Democrats who have shown a willingness and a conviction to keep our promise to deliver for American families. And it will be Hakeem Jeffries who will move our body and our country forward on a bipartisan path. Who on the other side of the aisle, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, will take yes for an answer and work with us to achieve 3 common goals. And my colleague and good friend, the gentleman from Oklahoma, mentioned one of them. Supporting assistance to Israel, but what he left out was assistance to Ukraine and our national security objectives.
No, Digger, we took nearly an hour to decide if they were there or not.
Second, above all else, we must commit to keep this government open and functioning. And finally, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, we need to put this body on a bipartisan path to achieve real results for the American public. That is what we were sent to do. That is what we need to do. That is why Hakeem Jeffries is the leader we need at this time to lead this chamber. I'd like to nominate Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House. I yield back.
Do these idiots not understand that this just infuriates everyday Americans? Or is it done intentionally to just shove it in our face over and over again?
No further nominations. The reading clerk will now call the roll.
Adams. Jeffries. Adderholt. Jordan. Aguilar. Jeffries. Alford. Jordan. Allen. Jordan. Allred. Jeffries. Amadei. Jordan. Armstrong. Jordan. Arrington. Jordan. Auchincloss. Jeffries. Babin. Jordan. Bacon. McCarthy. Baird. Jordan.
So Bacon was
Alderson.
one of those ones that hold out the holdout
Jordan.
from earlier.
Ballant. Jeffries. Banks. Jordan. Barr. Jordan. Barragan. Jeffries. Bean of Florida. Jordan. Beatty. Jeffries. Bentz. Jordan. Barra. Jeffries. Bergman. Jordan.
So again, we need 217 because of the
Beyer.
2 unfilled seats. So
Jeffries.
217 Republicans
Bice.
would need to vote for Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Biggs. Jordan. Bilirakis. Jordan. Bishop of Georgia. Jeffries. Bishop of North Carolina. Jordan. Blumenauer. Jeffries. Blunt Rochester. Jeffries. Boebert. Jordan. Bonamici. Jeffries. Bost. Jordan. Bowman. Jeffries. Boyle of Pennsylvania. Jeffries. Burkeen. Jordan. Brown. Jeffries. Brownlee. Jeffries. Buchanan.
Buchanan is a flip vote.
Donalds.
So Buchanan formally voted for Jim Jordan. He has not. Same with Representative Ken Bunk. He did vote for
Buck.
another person earlier.
Emmer. Bouchon. Jordan. Basinski. Jeffries. Burchett. Jordan. Burgess.
So 3
Jordan.
more, and he loses.
Burleson. Jordan.
One flipped
Bush.
away from Jim Jordan. Vern Buchanan previously voted for
Jeffries.
Jim Jordan. He has flipped his vote.
Calvert.
Buck and
Jordan.
Bacon did not vote for Jordan in the first round.
Kamek.
So, but have continued
Jordan.
to vote for other members.
Caraveo. Jeffries. Carbajal. Jeffries. Cardenas. Jeffries. Carey. Jordan. Carl. Jordan. Carson. Jeffries. Carter of Georgia. Jordan. Carter of Louisiana. Jeffries. Carter of Texas. Jordan. Cartwright. Jeffries. Kassar. Jeffries. Case. Jeffries. Caston. Jeffries. Castor of Florida. Jeffries. Castro of Texas. Jeffries. Chavez DeReamer.
The next one will be
McCarthy.
right there. Okay, DeReamer voted McCarthy. She voted McCarthy in the first round as well. Part of that original holdout crew. Esposito, D'Esposito, and Diaz-Balart will be the next two
Sherpalis
Republicans
McCormick.
up.
Jeffries. Chu. Jeffries.
That voted against
Cisco
him in the first
Mining.
round.
Jordan. Clark of Massachusetts. Jeffries. Clark of New York. Jeffries. Cleaver. Jeffries. Klein. Jordan. Cloud. Jordan. Clyburn. Jeffries. Clyde. Jordan. Cohen. Jeffries. Cole. Jordan. Collins. Jordan. Comer. Jordan. Connolly. Jeffries. Correa. Jeffries. Costa. Jeffries. Courtney. Jeffries. Craig. Jeffries. Crane. Jordan. Crawford. Jordan.
Two more. That's why I said
Crenshaw.
look for D'Esposito and Diaz-Balart because they could end
Jordan.
this right here.
Crockett.
They're coming up.
Jeffries. Crow. Jeffries. Cuellar. Jeffries. Curtis. Jordan. Davids of Kansas. Jeffries. Davidson. Jordan. Davis of Illinois. Jeffries. Davis of North Carolina. Jeffries. Dean of Pennsylvania. Jeffries. DeGette. Jeffries. Dela Cruz. Jordan. DeLauro. Jeffries. Del Bene. Jeffries. DeLuzio. Jeffries. DeSaulnier. Jeffries. Desjardins. Jordan. D'Esposito. Zeldin.
And both Esposito and Diaz-Balart have voted against Jim Jordan. So this vote has failed as well.
Diaz-Balart. Scalise. Dingle. Jeffries. Doggett. Jeffries. Donalds. Jordan. Duarte. Jordan. Duncan. Jordan. Dunn of Florida. Jordan. Edwards. Jordan. Elsie. Mike Garcia.
Jim Jordan does not have the votes. We are going to a round 3. This will all be procedural
Emmer.
from this
Jordan.
point forward for this round.
Escobar.
Expect a lot of clapping and bullshit
Jeffries.
on nothingness.
Eshu. Jeffries.
I think 24 is my guess, Alex.
Jeffries.
I could be wrong, but
Estes.
I think 24.
Jordan. Evans. Jeffries. Azell. Jordan. Fallon. Jordan. Finstra. Jordan. Ferguson. Scalise.
Drew Ferguson's another flip. He voted for Jim Jordan in round 1, Steve Scalise in round 2. So
Finstad. Jordan. Fishbach. Jordan. Fitzgerald. Jordan. Fitzpatrick. Jordan. Fleischman. Jordan. Fletcher. Jeffries. Flood. Jordan. Foster. Jeffries. Fushi. Jeffries. Fox. Jordan. Lois Frankel. Jeffries. Scott Franklin. Jordan. Frost. Jeffries. Fry. Jordan. Fulcher. Jordan. Gates. Jordan. Gallagher. Jordan. Gallego. Jeffries. Garamendi. Jeffries. Garbarino. Zeldin.
Garbarino voted for Lee Zeldin in the first vote, and same thing with the second vote. So he is the same as he was.
Mike
the first time
Garcia.
around.
Jordan. Robert Garcia. Jeffries. Garcia of Illinois. Jeffries. Garcia of Texas. Jeffries. Jimenez. McCarthy. Golden of Maine. Jeffries. Goldman of New York. Jeffries. Gomez. Jeffries. Tony Gonzalez. Scalise.
Carlos Jimenez and Tony Gonzalez stuck with their same vote. Carlos Jimenez voted for Kevin McCarthy in round 1. Gonzalez voted for Scalise in round 1.
Vicente Gonzalez.
So none of those are a flip anyway.
Jeffries. Good of Virginia. Jordan. Gooden of Texas. Jordan. Gosar. Jordan. Gottheimer. Jeffries. Granger. Scalise.
Scalise, the Scalise vote from Kay Granger was the same that she voted for in round 1, so no change
Graves
there
of
either.
Louisiana. Jordan. Graves of Missouri. Jordan. Green of Tennessee. Jordan. Green of Texas. Jeffries. Green of Georgia. Jordan. Griffith. Jordan. Grijalva. Jeffries. Grothman. Grothman. Jordan. Guest. Jordan. Guthrie. Jordan. Hageman. Jordan. Harder of California. Jeffries. Harris. Jordan. Harshbarger. Jordan. Hayes. Jeffries. Hearn. Jordan. Higgins of Louisiana. Jordan. Higgins of New York. Jeffries. Hill. Jordan. Himes. Jeffries. Henson. Jordan. Horsford. Jeffries. Houchin. Jordan. Houlihan. Jeffries. Hoyer. Jeffries. Hoyle of Oregon. Jeffries. Hudson. Jordan. Huffman. Jeffries. Huizinga. Jordan. Hunt. Jordan. Issa. Jordan. Ivy. Jeffries. Jackson of Illinois. Jeffries. Jackson of North Carolina. Jeffries. Jackson of Texas. Jordan. Jackson Lee. Jeffries. Jacobs. Jeffries. James. Miller Meeks. Candace Miller of Michigan.
Candace Miller. It's John James.
House will come to order. The clerk will continue.
Jayapal. Jeffries. Jeffries.
Bobby, it's
Jeffries.
not a weird worship of Jeffries. It's the fact that the Democrats always stand completely together. They never split on anything. They're like a uniglob.
Johnson of Georgia. Jeffries. Johnson of Louisiana. Jordan. Johnson of Ohio. Jordan. Johnson of South Dakota. Jordan. Jordan. Jordan.
Yay, he can vote for himself. Yay. Fuck off.
Joyce of Ohio. Jordan. Joyce of Pennsylvania. Jordan. Kemlager Dove. Jeffries. Captor. Jeffries. Kane of New Jersey. Jordan. Keating. Jeffries. Kelly of Illinois. Jeffries. Kelly of Mississippi. Jordan. Kelly of Pennsylvania.
Former Speaker of the House, the Honorable John Boehner.
Boehner.
What the fuck?
McConnell.
It's all just a joke to them at this point. They don't give a shit. I mean, I get it. Your
Hannah.
vote doesn't mean anything anyways.
Jeffries.
It's over. But
Kiggins of Virginia.
like now it's just a joke. Now it's just a game again.
McCarthy.
Who can have the best soundbite? Who can be on the news tonight? We live in a world of clout, and it's
Kildee.
it's disgusting.
Jeffries. Kylie. Jordan. Kilmer. Jeffries. Kim of California. Jordan. Kim of New Jersey. Jeffries. Krishnamurthy.
I vote
Jeffries.
for John Boehner.
Custer. Jeffries. Kustoff. Jordan. LaHood. Jordan. LaLota. Zeldin. LaMalfa. Jordan. Lamborn. Lamborn. Jordan. Landsman. Jeffries. Langworthy. Jordan. Larson of Washington. Jeffries. Larson of Connecticut. Jeffries. Latta. Jordan. LaTurner. Jordan. Lawler.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
McCarthy.
That's former speaker. He got voted out because he's a neocon.
Lee of California. Jeffries. Lee of Florida. Jordan. Lee of Nevada. Jeffries. Lee of Pennsylvania. Jeffries. Ledger Fernandez. Jeffries. Lesko. Jordan. Letlow. Jordan.
Ruh-roh.
Levin. Jeffries. Lou. Jeffries. Lofgren. Jeffries. Loudermilk.
Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Lucas. Jordan. Luke Kameyer. Jordan. Luna. Jordan. Latrell. Jordan. Lynch. Jeffries. Mace. Jordan.
Do some mates right
Magaziner.
now.
Jeffries.
Probably hurt worse than this
Maliotakis.
bullshit.
Jordan. Mann. Jordan. Manning. Jeffries. Massey. Jordan. Mast. Jordan. Matsui. Jeffries. McBath. Jeffries. McCarthy. Jordan. McCall. Jordan. McLean. Jordan. McClellan. Jeffries. McClintock. Jordan. McCollum. Jeffries. McCormick. Jordan. McGarvey. Jeffries. McGovern. Jeffries. McHenry. Jordan. Meeks. Jeffries. Menendez. Jeffries. Ming. Jeffries. Muser. Jordan. Mfume. Jeffries. Miller of Illinois. Jordan. Miller of Ohio. Jordan. Miller of West Virginia. Jordan. Miller Meeks. Granger. Mills. Jordan. Molinaro. Jordan. Molinar. Jordan. Mooney. Jordan. Moore of Alabama.
I do have one switch the other way, though. Doug
Jordan.
LaMaffa.
Moore
Malfa,
of Utah.
he voted for Kevin McCarthy
Jordan.
in round 1. He voted for Jordan in round 2.
Moore of Wisconsin. Jeffries. Moran. Jordan. Morelli.
Mr. Jeffries.
Jeffries. Moskowitz. Jeffries. Moulton. Jeffries. Mervan.
Mr. Jeffries.
Jeffries. Mullen. Jeffries. Murphy. Jordan. Nadler. Jeffries. Napolitano. Jeffries. Neal. Jeffries. Nagoose. Jeffries. Nels. Jordan. Newhouse. Jordan. Nickel. Jeffries. Norcross. Jeffries. Norman. Jordan. None of Iowa. Jordan.
But here,
Obernolte.
none of Iowa voted for Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Ocasio-Cortez. Jeffries. Ogles. Jordan. Omar. Jeffries. Owens. Jordan. Pallone. Jeffries. Palmer. Jordan. Panetta. Jeffries. Pappas. Jeffries. Pasquarel. Jeffries. Payne. Payne. Pelosi. Jeffries.
They're just cheering because she
Peltola.
could actually get words out of her mouth.
Jeffries. Pence. Jordan. Perez. Perez. Jeffries. Perry. Jordan. Peters. Jeffries. Pedersen. Jeffries. Pfluger. Jordan. Phillips. Jeffries. Pingree. Jeffries. Pocan. Jeffries. Porter.
God, I
Jeffries.
wish.
Posey. Jordan. Presley. Jeffries. Quigley. Jeffries. Ramirez. Jeffries. Raskin. Jeffries. Reschenthaler. Jordan. Rogers of Washington. Jordan. Rogers of Alabama. Jordan. Rogers of Kentucky. Jordan. Rose. Jordan. Rosendale. Jordan. Ross. Jeffries. Rouser. Jordan. Roy. Jordan. Ruiz. Jeffries. Rupersberger. Jeffries. Rutherford. Scalise.
Rutherford was a Scalise vote in
Ryan.
the first round, same in the second.
Jeffries.
Miller
Salazar.
Meeks was a
Jordan.
Jim Jordan vote in the first round,
Salinas.
and then other vote this round.
Jeffries.
So that one's
Sanchez.
just a flip.
Jeffries. Santos. Jordan. Sarbanes. Jeffries. Scalise. Jordan. Scanlon. Jeffries. Schakowsky. Jeffries. Schiff. Jeffries. Schneider. Jeffries. Skolton. Jeffries. Schreier. Jeffries. Schweikert. Jordan. Austin Scott. Jordan. David Scott. Jeffries. Scott of Virginia. Jeffries. Self. Jordan. Sessions. Jordan. Sewell. Jeffries. Sherman. Jeffries. Sherrill. Jeffries. Simpson. Scalise. Slotkin.
We're +3 in the others'
Jeffries.
votes right now. I think that will end up
Smith
as
of
24,
Missouri.
but we did get one flip,
Jordan.
so I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up
Smith
23
of Nebraska.
in the others category.
Jordan. Smith of New Jersey. Jordan.
Mike Simpson just voted for
Smith
an
of
other,
Washington.
so that just went up again.
Jeffries. Smucker. Jordan. Sorensen. Jeffries. Soto.
But it should be an increase from the 20 that we saw in the
Jeffries.
last round. Like I said,
Spanberger.
my original
Jeffries.
guess was at
Sparks.
24, and it looks like we're going to be damn close to that, but might end up 23
Sparks.
because of the one flip.
Stansberry. Jeffries.
Sparks was another one that voted for an other in the first round.
Stanton.
But she withheld her
Jeffries.
vote in the first round as well
Stauber.
until everything was
Westerman.
in. So
Steele. Jordan.
looks like we got about 25
Stefanik.
Republicans left to vote.
Jordan.
So,
Style.
and two
Jordan.
of which have voted for others in the
Stubbe.
past. So
Jordan. Stevens. Jeffries. Strickland. Jeffries. Strong. Jordan. Swalwell. Jeffries.
Fang.
Sykes. Jeffries. Takano. Jeffries. Tenney. Jordan. Tanadar. Jeffries. Thompson of California. Jeffries. Thompson of Mississippi. Jeffries. Thompson of Pennsylvania. Jordan. Tiffany. Jordan. Timmons. Jordan. Titus. Jeffries. Tlaib. Takuda. Jeffries. Tonko. Jeffries. Torres of California. Jeffries. Torres of New York. Jeffries. Trahan. Jeffries. Trone. Turner. Jordan. Underwood. Jeffries. Valadeo. Jordan. Van Drew.
So Congressman Pete Stauber voted for Jordan in the first round, voted other in this
Jordan.
round.
Van Dyne. Jordan. Van Orden. Jordan. Vargas. Jeffries. Vasquez. Jeffries. Vesey. Jeffries. Velasquez. Jeffries. Wagner. Jordan. Wahlberg. Jordan. Waltz. Jordan.
What the hell are you talking about? There's a Taco Bell
Wasserman
in the
Schultz.
Congress?
Jeffries. Waters. Jeffries. Watson Coleman. Jeffries. Weber of Texas. Jordan. Webster of Florida. Jordan. Winstrup. Jordan. Westerman. Jordan. Wexton. Jeffries. Wild. Jeffries. Williams of Georgia. Jeffries. Williams of New York. Jordan. Williams of Texas. Jordan. Wilson of Florida. Jeffries. Wilson of South Carolina. Jordan. Whitman, Jordan, Womack, Scalise. Yakum, Jordan, Zinke, Jordan,
And Womack voted for Scalise in round 1 and voted for Scalise in round 2.
We got to go back through. I got Payne missing. I got Sparks missing. And I got Sleep missing. And Trey. Okay. So you should have 4 missing. Let me get my pen. Hang on. Your first one is going to be Mr. Payne. Yeah. Yeah. So she'll call again. Payne's your first one. Yeah.
So let me tell you what's going to happen from here. We're all going to stand around for 20 minutes. Then they're going to say, let us know the votes. And then they're going to tell them that Jordan didn't win. And then they'll talk
The
about it.
reading clerk will now
Don't tell
call
me
the
this,
names of the members who
bitch.
did not answer the first call of the roll.
Payne, Jeffries, Sparts,
Oh, there's another clip of
Jordan.
Jim Jordan.
Let's see, 199. Okay, to leave next.
Tlaib, Jeffries,
And then next we have is Trey.
Trone, Jeffries,
So that's all the Republican. Well, no, there's one more. There's one more that should come in. There's one more outstanding. We're pretty sure that that's going to be a non Jim Jordan vote. Anytime if any time they have intention of them coming out to make their vote, but obviously Jim Jordan lost. Obviously he's 2 votes less than he was last time. You add on the other person that showed up that was at his mother-in-law's funeral yesterday. So now your numbers are still going the wrong way. You're still -1. You aren't breaking into the support. So And now we're just going to be literally just waiting here until something happens. No, I'm here. Sorry, I was muted. I was trying to bring it back up. There we go. Yeah, I was trying to bring up a different tab because this one wouldn't figure it out. Once again, every single member voted for Hakeem Jeffries. 199 for Jordan, 22 others, 1 didn't vote this round either. Always Digger. So interesting. I know it's pretty small, but here is the days that Congress is in session. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days after today. And then they're off that whole first week. And then the government shutdown comes around, I believe, the 6th or 7th. So if they're going to take time in between, then that'll be interesting because we don't have a bunch of time until the next shutdown. Now, granted, I would prefer there's just a shutdown, but who knows? So. Oh, they're going to. Absolutely will. I don't. McNuggets? McGeorge? I couldn't tell you what his name is. McHenry. There you go. Something McHenry. Yeah, they just do what the hell they want. Yep. Nice aerial view of the empty speaker seat. So I'd imagine we'll hear something fairly quickly. I haven't seen anything about a third vote, but obviously we know a third round's coming at some point. It'd be interesting to see if they give expansive powers to Patrick McHenry, the current pseudo Speaker of the House. That would be like them to expand somebody else's powers to weasel away at everything. God, that would be great. That would be fantastic. Do I think it will actually be Jordan, or will they have to find somebody new? I still 100% stand by what I said earlier. It's going to be Hakeem Jeffries. I said that right after McCarthy was ousted. I said they're going to dick around, play with each other, play back and forth. It's going to go 15, 20, 30 rounds, and it will end up being some Republicans that compromise, and they will elect Jeffries, and I could see that. Shit, wrong one. There. That's what I meant to answer. So I could see them. Seriously? All right. Obviously, C-SPAN's having issues. Let me go to just a different one altogether. All right. So RSBN has nothing at all. So that tends to lead to we're probably not going to get a. How the hell is this breaking news? Households vote to elect a new speaker. We've been holding votes for days. Welcome, NBC, to the party. Jesus Christ.
The House will
Never
come
heard
to
so
order.
much clapping for losers.
The tellers agree in their tallies that the total number of votes cast is 433, of which the Honorable Jim Jordan of the state of Ohio has received 199. The Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of the state of New York has received. Lee Zeldin of the state of New York has received 3. The Honorable Steve Scalise of the state of Louisiana
that one
has
as a
received
backup, but
7.
I'd rather stay over here
The
on
Honorable
C-SPAN
Mike
if at all
Garcia of the state
possible.
of California has received 1. Candace Miller of the state of Michigan has received 1. John Boehner of the state of Ohio has received 1.
Candace Miller is the
The Honorable
Macomb
Kay
County
Granger of the state of Texas has
Public
received
Works
1.
Commissioner in
The Honorable
Michigan.
Bruce Westerman of the state of Arkansas has received 1. No person having received a majority of the whole number of votes cast by surname, a speaker has not been elected. Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the chair declares the House in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
All right.
And that's the end result of this second day of voting on a House Speaker, not going the way for Representative Jim Jordan, and next steps to be determined as the House considers and leadership considers its next moves. You can call in and talk about what you've seen that play out into the morning and into the afternoon. Republicans 202.
Okay, so here is what we're going to do this time, because last time I got baited in and, they're worthless pieces of shit, so we're probably not going to get anything anytime soon. I'm going to scour real quick for some more Biden news, which I've been doing. We'll see if there's anything going on there. And I don't see anything. Don't see anything. I don't see anything. All right, so yeah, I'm not seeing much of anything at all. So yeah, I consider it a win. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it right here because we got baited in last time by
Have to be
worthless ass politicians. I really don't care to hear what you say. I have to say either. So if there's another vote, which I'm not seeing right away in anything I'm reading, so if there's another vote, I will certainly come back. But until then, I'm gonna call it right here. Well, here we'll go through real quick. So Don Bacon, same vote. Buchanan went from Jordan to other. Ken Buck, same vote. DeRummer, same vote. Esposito, same vote. Diaz-Balart, same vote. LZ, same vote. Drew Ferguson went from Jim Jordan to Steve Scalise. Gabarino, other, stayed the same. Jimenez, Kevin McCarthy stayed the same. Gonzalez and Granger both stayed the same for Steve Scalise. John James threw out a random vote of a county commissioner in Southeast Michigan. Mike Kelly went from Scalise to other. Jen Kiggins went from McCarthy to McCarthy. Lalota went other. Lawler went other in both. Meeks Miller or Miller Meeks went Jordan to other. Rutherford Simpson both kept the same vote with Scalise. Stauber went Jim Jordan to other. Steve Womack voted Scalise in round 1 and 2. LaMalfa voted for Kevin McCarthy in the first round, but flipped his vote to Jim Jordan in the second. Victoria Sparks actually did end up voting for Jim Jordan from the other. So, all in all, it wasn't a terrible showing. I thought it was going to be much worse, and as you can see, the blue wall of Democrats there, every single one voted for Hakeem Jeffries. Given the difference in it amounts to a pretty much a -1 for Jim Jordan. And that's where we stand. So I will let you know if anything new happens on that front. Until then, have a good day, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.